Hey everyone, welcome to this live stream. I have to quickly go switch the links because my very first live stream that I was announcing didn't go live for whatever reason. There was an error with the camera, and so I had to go live again. And so the link that I shared out for everybody to hop on was not correct. So I'm going to fix that link real quick and at the same time give people an opportunity to hop on. So if you're hopping on and this is your first time joining one of my live videos, my name is Shakti Rios. And as you noticed from my page, I am an online health and fitness coach. And I help people, body, mind, and spirit, get fit. Women specifically I work with, and do it in a way that is simple, that is effective, that's not really complicated. And if you go through the playlists on this page, you'll notice that I do talk about metaphysical concepts. Like this video would fall under that category, new moon and full moon videos. I also have, as well as some, I guess they would be called conspiracy concepts, but they're becoming less conspiracy and more hiding in plain sight as the days go by. So we're living in some very, very, very interesting times. And what I have to report right now is actually supporting that. So if this is your first time hopping onto one of these kinds of videos, I usually do a couple things. I share some information that I reviewed from trusted sources that I follow for astrology. I'm not an astrologer. I have a mild background in astrology, but it's not as in-depth as a lot of people who do these kinds of reports. I've done psychic work for many, many, many years, and I do oracle and tarot reading and interpretation. So that's really my strength, and I'll be going over the cards that came out for this time right in a little bit. So I'll be doing that, but I also want to show you how everything ties in together, because I think this is really, really important. There is a relationship, and there always is a relationship between what's happening in the world, the tangible material world, what's happening in the cosmos, and what's happening within each of us. It's all related. There's a relationship with all of it. And I'm always fascinated by where the intersections of those things exist. And so lately I've been spending a lot of time talking about more, I would call them, I guess, more dense subjects, like what's happening on the earth plane and news and media and things of that nature, which are pretty dense. And I haven't really talked a whole lot about the metaphysical components of what's happening. So that's what we're going to get into today. Say hi as you're hopping on so I can say hi to you. Okay, so here's what we got going on for this new moon in Aries. There's a lot of number 4 energy. There's a lot of Saturn energy. And again, I'm not going into the details, the aspects, the degrees. That's not my specialty and my focus. I understand them, but that's not what I dive into. But I take information from those things. So there's a lot of 4, a lot of Saturn. Both of those concepts, the number 4 is about structure and foundation, and Saturn is the organizer, boundaries, right? The organized, boundaried, bringing order. That's the energy of Saturn, okay? So we have both of those things combined, okay? Then we have the sign of Aries. We have this new moon in Aries. Now, a lot of the reports I was watching, they didn't talk about this, and I really don't know how it could be missed unless they're really checked out about what's happening on the other levels that I talk about, for example, in the fireside chats. So Aries is known as the god of war. And what's hyper interesting to me right now is that for those of you who have been following those videos, it very much seems like the US is on a war path, not visible, so it's a covert war path against massive organized crime domestically and globally. And they are taking no names. I mean, they're just wiping everyone out that's involved at once. It's a direct operative. And I don't think that that is a coincidence with this astrological arrangement. Okay, so Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is the symbol for the god of war. It is the arrow symbol. We have this, not like, I don't mean arrow like Sagittarian symbol. I mean like the symbol of penetration, the symbol of initiation, the symbol of taking action, the symbol of going in and taking care of it. Okay, that's this energy of Aries. It's very impulsive, and it's very all-consuming. And what's interesting, when I was listening to these other astrologers talk about going from the energy of Pisces to Aries, Pisces does have this like victim shadow component to it. And we are leaving the age of Pisces and moving into the Aquarian age. So we've already been transitioning out of this age of woe is me and victimhood, where we have been for an extended period of time. And not necessarily entirely our fault, because our government, like our world, our matrix has been structured to make you feel like a victim of all things all the time. Like it was intentional that you would feel helpless so that you could be easily manipulated. So we're leaving that age. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, which Aquarius is the sign of the genius, is a sign of inventiveness, and it's an air sign. It's about quick moving information, quick moving thought, okay, thought clouds. And now we have this new moon in the sign of Aries, which is the sign of the god of war. And I will tell you two things. Number one, this verifies ever more deeply that this secret war path that we're on right now to take down organized crime, which, by the way, I'm not just talking about like drug trafficking and, all that light stuff. I'm talking about some dark, ugly, spiritual based things, that ritualistic abuse that is happening at such a massive scale. It's hard to even put your brain around what's going on. And this is the end of that. At the same time that this is happening, we have the massive ascension spike, this 5D ascension process that's happening right now. It's not a coincidence. I just want you guys to understand this. It is not a coincidence that we're going through this 5D ascension process at the same time that this COVID thing has spread into the world, at the same time that there's this huge, massive government undertaking to take out these organized institutions. All of that is happening because of that. Because we are going from a third dimensional, dense as hell reality into a 5-dimensional reality. You can't take this there. Doesn't go. Okay? And for those of you who still think that COVID was a natural occurrence, it wasn't. Like, really do your research on that. It was very, very strategic. And it's causing a lot of damage. And I hope that it comes to pass that the people who intentionally created this situation pay for their crimes. I mean, it is Mars, right? We're there. We're going in there. We're digging in. We're on that warpath. I hope they do, because they've caused a lot of damage. And when the truth comes to light of how that was done, the karma that's being incurred right now, you can't even imagine at the levels at which it's being incurred. But it will be foiled. It will be interrupted. It won't fill out its full organized plan. So you don't have to worry about that. It will be stopped before it does what it was intended to do. Okay. So then we have the cards. And I have been saying on my social media now for a while that the worst thing you could be doing right now is living in fear. Why? Because when you are living in the fear, your frequency is so low, you are susceptible to disease, you're susceptible to panic, and you're susceptible to base impulsive behaviors and thoughts that make your existence harder. Chronic stress, which again lowers your immune system. And suddenly it prevents you from being in the present moment, this future projection of dread that amplifies your anxiety, okay? So this is not to say that many people are not living an incredibly difficult time right now. That is the reality. We are at a place right now where people are losing jobs and people are stuck in their homes and they have no idea how they're going to pay a mortgage or rent. That is absolutely happening. And it is at such a massive scale, unlike anything we've ever seen. But hear me out when I say this. There's a really essential restructuring that's happening right now. And if that happened in your reality, there's a reason for why that happened, no doubt. And if you are very, very, very honest with yourself about the life you were living before this, you may find that you weren't a big fan of what you were doing with your time, of the running around, of the stress you were living under. You might find, if you're extremely honest with yourself, that that was not living. It was a shit show. Okay. And even though now you're stressed because you don't know what you're going to do because you have to go search for new options, at the very least, there's almost like a minor weight off your shoulders that you don't have to live that shit show anymore. Be very honest with yourself. Be extremely honest. That's the only way you're going to grow from this experience. So you will have unemployment. You are going to receive a stimulus package. I talk about that in one of my videos. You're going to receive money. You have the ability to call your mortgage company and your landlords and tell them what's going on, and they have to comply. They have to comply, you guys. They have to help you out. So please don't stress out about that. But we're not in the energy of being a victim anymore. That's not going to serve you. This energy of Mars, this energy of Aries, this energy is about taking action and being proactive. So look at all the things that you can take care of right now and take action. And don't just wait for things to fall apart and catastrophize. Okay? Don't do that. All right. I've talked about how fear will only make this worse. So the eyes of beauty came out inverted. Well, here we are. What does that card mean? That card means that your perception of your experience is literally going to dictate your reality. It's come out in other readings before that I've done live, and it's here to remind you that as long as you're living in a place where your perspective of everything that's happening is more dread, and this is terrible, there's going to be more of that to look forward to. And that is actually going to hurt you, not just your frequency, but your physical body, your energetic body, your mental body, all of the things. Okay, right here. The spirit whisperer inverted. So what happens when you're constantly living in fear and panic and anxiety? You stop being able to listen to the whispers of your higher self. You stop being able to listen to your intuition. Third eye card came out as well. You stop being able to function from a place of higher knowing, resilience, creativity, connected to God's source. When you stress, you drop into an animalistic base frequency, literally, and you will block your ability to connect with higher wisdom. Okay. So here's what you can do. So appropriate that he came out. The camel boy, small steps, ask for help. You notice this is on the card. Okay. Do everything you possibly can to get support right now. Mental, emotional, physical support. Everything you possibly can, and make that your number one priority. Because right now, your connection, the amount of time you're spending in prayer or in meditation, or whether you're doing journaling exercises or whatever intentional work you are doing right now to serve yourself, this is going to change your reality. This is not only going to change your reality, it's going to change the collective. I want you guys to hear that. The work you're doing right now to harness your energy and stay focused on light is not just about you anymore, or maybe impacting the collective. It's definitely impacting the collective, and it is needed, you guys. Like, please understand that as long as you continue to feed panic into the world around you, you are generating more life force for darkness. And every time that you lean into your hope, your gratitude, your light, your higher self, you are generating energy for this ascension process. Okay? Be very mindful moment to moment of where your thoughts lie and what frequency you're generating. It is completely creating reality, moment to moment to moment. Okay? This This is the base point of quantum physics. This is how we interact with consciousness. It is about intentionality. It's about thought. Thoughts are things they create. So please master that. Okay. This is such an important time of structure. Again, I mentioned the fours and the energy of Saturn. It's a time of boundaries. It's a time of like really understanding how to harness your energy and focus it. And it's also a time of initiative, which is really interesting because we're thinking, oh, everything is halted, then I have to halt. But no, this is a time for you to take initiative in your self-learning, initiative in your spiritual work, initiative in whatever your professional work is, or developing new plans for a professional identity. This is a time of initiative. So don't hang back in the place of victimhood for too long. Like, do not let that become the identity you now possess. And encourage others to not be there also. Because how we turn the tide and how we facilitate ascension is not in that vibration. Okay, my friends. I'm going to keep this one short. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always around to support you guys. As always, subscribe, click the bell to be notified when a video drops, and I will be in touch. Be well. Again, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Love you guys. Bye.